Hello YouTube, today I'm going to do a brief firework information video as fireworks are on general sale in a couple of weeks time in the supermarkets all over the country and other seasonals. Before then, our stash for this year, we haven't added anything new yet, so be on the lookout. New videos will be up in around 2 weeks once supermarkets and seasonals are selling. Might go down to our local fireworks shop to buy a couple of bits as well. We'll see how that goes. Got another £100 or so to spend, so hopefully we'll get some decent stuff for that. Yes, firework information. People on various places will say that you should never ever buy supermarket fireworks because they're shit, they're crap, whatever you want to call them. I disagree highly. Yes, some supermarket fireworks are crap, very crap, and completely not worth buying. However, some are worth buying, are very good value, and provide very, very good entertainment. Lidl this year are going back to stocking Weeco fireworks, which are by far and away the best brand stocked in any supermarket for a long time. So if you're anywhere near a Lidl between the 15th and the 10th, buy some Weeco. Very good products, usually. Hopefully they can go to Weeco anyway. A few stores, TNT, personally I'm not overly keen on them as a brand, but they have some good products. Big fountains they tend to do better than nearly anybody, actually. Very good value, very good duration, very good colours. So even stores that aren't so good generally have a few gems. One thing I would avoid, other than Lidl with Weeco and the range with Bright Star, is any supermarket cakes. Tend to be poor value, not particularly powerful, and rather overpackaged, which is not great. So I'd avoid those most of the time, because personally I don't think they're worth it, but if you're looking for a small finale piece, you probably can't go too far wrong with your buy one get one free from Tesco for 20 quid or whatever, which is fair enough. Port fires now. I think this year at least 3 supermarkets will be stocking port fires. They are like these 5 little flares basically, and you touch the flare onto the fuse and you light the fire with them. They're much safer than lighters or matches. Very unlikely to hurt yourself with one of those. Tesco and Sainsbury's sold last year. Standard ones are fantastic. Best port fires, much better than these. These are by Brothers. They're a bit crappy, to be honest. The Tesco ones and the Sainsbury's ones are brilliant, last a long time. They don't smell. Those stink badly. I noticed Asda this year are going to sell them as well. They're obviously TNT branded ones. No idea what they're like, but for £1 for 3, can't really go too far wrong. Much safer than matches, as I say. Definitely worth buying. Yeah, better to light your fireworks with a long way. Now, a lot of questions people ask on various websites and things. Difference between 1.3G and 1.4G fireworks. Basically, there isn't much difference, to be honest. 1.3G fireworks are allowed more flash powder in them. This genuinely makes them a little bit louder, but not necessarily. For example, this is a Your Game Mars cake. Cassiopeia, sorry, I haven't got Mars this year. This is 1.4G, and those of you who have watched my stash video will remember I had a Flash Harry, which was 1.3G. Same size tubes, they're 20mm, same number of shots, about the same price. Basically, the only difference in them is Flash Harry is slightly louder. That is an equally good cake for the money. Definitely worth buying, even though it's 1.4. So cakes, it doesn't tend to make much of a difference. Rockets, however, it makes a huge difference. This is a 1.3 rocket. This is a Hurricane rocket by Sovereign, left over from last year. 1.3G rockets are miles better than 1.4G because they are allowed more powder and more flash powder. These things, both of those things, make the burst bigger and the burst louder. So this rocket has 55 grams, I think, of powder in. 1.4G rockets are limited to 20 grams, and that includes the motor to get it in the air. So to say that's 15 grams, that's 5 grams of effect, which is not very much. So if you're looking for wow, don't get 1.4G rockets. That basically rules out anything at a supermarket. They're all 1.4G. And if you're looking for wow, don't buy them. If you're looking for a small rocket to entertain the kids with, colours maybe not very loud, Supermarket rockets are perfect for that because they're reasonably cheap most of the time, and they've got no bangs at all. It's a foot barely. If you're lucky, you get a small pop. Bigger rockets such as this, or such as the King Cobras that I had last year, they've got 200 grams of powder in, and they're massive and very loud. So if you've got kids who are scared of the noise, I wouldn't advise a King Cobra rocket for you, or in fact anything that's 1.3G for that reason. But yeah, rockets are the only thing it really makes a difference on. Cakes, 1.4G cakes are so good these days, you really don't need to worry. The stuff they can do with black powder is mad. Next little thing, fanned fireworks. I have here the Adrenaline Rush. This is a fan cake. As you can see here, this fire fires at an angle, face this side towards spectators for the best view. So the tubes will fire outwards that way, and straight up. So I'd place the fire on the ground like this, put a small stake here, up to about there, take the fire up to the stake, and my audience would be behind where I'm sitting now to watch the fan effect. Always check which side is fanned. It's not always the thin side, sometimes it's the wide side, depending how the firework's been made and how wide the fan is. So always just have a look for this side face spectators label. Sometimes they put this side face spectators label on top with an arrow pointing this way. Don't get confused, do not place it this side towards the spectators, because you will fire fireworks at your spectators, and that is not a very good idea. It will cause much pain and misery. So always check the angle of your fan firework, and always check also how angled they are. This particular firework is quite angled, that's about 30-degree angle. Some cakes, such as the Celtic Big Fan range, are not as angled as this, therefore they don't need quite as much width to get past. This cake probably needs quite a long width because they're quite angled tubes in here. Fountains next. I love a good fountain, personally. I don't think a display is a display without a fountain. Some people watching this will be accustomed to very large fountains that cost £5, £10, maybe £15 plus each. Some people watching this will only have had selection boxes with small fountains, about that size in them, which are good but obviously not very powerful. I would always advise in any display to have one large fountain for the spectacle that it provides. I love a good fountain, I love a big fountain. I'd personally start a display with a larger fountain, or even a small cake if you felt like it, but for a small back garden display, a larger fountain does the job perfectly to start a display with a bit of wow, just to get your audience hooked before you go on to the other fireworks that you have. Selection boxes, contentious issue. Some people think that they're completely crap and not worth their money at all. I disagree. I love selection boxes a lot. You will see a few in our stash video later on. I don't think you can go wrong with a good selection box. Good selection of, if it's got a good selection of fountains, candles, rockets, if it's got a minor wheel, that kind of thing, it's a decent box. Unfortunately, most of the time, you can't always get a good box, or at least a cheaper box, at a specialist. Not all specialists sell boxes. They tend to sell bigger single fireworks like this, like the Cassiopeia, and the bigger fountains and the bigger rockets. So supermarkets can sometimes be your only option. Always check your firework retailer first, because they might have something in the back that they've just got extra, or something that you can have that might be better. But if you're just in the market for 30 quid's worth of fireworks and you want a selection box, a finale piece and some rockets, a supermarket will probably do you pretty well, as long as you buy sensibly and smartly. Lidl will be a great place to shop this year, as long as they stock Weeco. Personally, I quite like the standard selection boxes. Standard have been a bit rubbish recently, but their boxes always seem to come out pretty well. We had a Midnight Blitz box last year, and that was surprisingly impressive actually. Some really nice effects in that box. So yeah, always check your specialist though, because they might have a Brothers selection box. The Brothers boxes are very good, any kind of box. Otherwise it's Lidl, Standard, and the range with Brightstar. Brightstar also do brilliant boxes. Personally, I'd maybe stay away from TNT, because I've had quality issues with them, with fuses coming out of their selection box products and leakage of powder, which sort of puts me off a bit. But Some people like them more. I don't. It's just personal preference, really, whether you prefer TNT or standard in supermarkets. Yeah, personal preference only. Where to get extra information? There are two main websites in the UK for fireworks. There's the UKFR, which is the United Kingdom Fireworks Review, and there's Seasonal Traditions. I'm a member of Seasonal Traditions. I like Seasonal Traditions more than I like UKFR. Personal preference again. I find it sometimes to be a bit calmer, maybe a bit more friendly to initial buyers, first-time buyers, which when I first joined we were first-time bigger firework buyers. Started to introduce us to Weco, very good. If you're a professional or if you're a hardcore pyromaniac, UKFR maybe might be better suited to you. But if you're just a normal person looking for a bit of fun at bonfire night, got a few £100 to spend, or if you're just starting out, I can't recommend Seasonal Traditions highly enough. Very, very good website, lots of brilliant information, great members, excluding me obviously. Brilliant for information, lots of detailed posts about these supermarkets, which you sometimes lose on UKFR. Their supermarket section is terrible, to be honest. Lots of ranting about how crap they are when it's not necessarily the case. So yeah, Seasonal Traditions is the website to go to, in my opinion. Myself or any other member would always be happy to help you out with your questions there. And I do a post on that website with budgets and a suggested selection of fireworks to buy. Go have a look at that. I'll put a link in the description for that particular page. It saves me doing another video about suggestion for fireworks this year. But I hope that's been helpful to people. If anyone's got any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll try and answer them, or come and join the Seasonal Traditions forum and speak to all of us. People have different methods of doing things, so I'm sure somebody can recommend something that would be suitable for your use of fireworks this year. I'll see you soon with the stash update sometime after October the 15th with supermarket products and seasonals. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.